Thank you all for joining us today for the Light and Shadow 2024 Juror Talk. I am Amani Freeman. I'm the exhibitions manager for the Maryland Federation of Art. The MFA is a visual nonprofit organization that hosts more than 40 exhibitions every year. Our mission is to make connections in the local and online communities through art, with exhibits and events in the Circle Gallery in Annapolis, online, and in numerous alternative venues. We provide artists of all genres, media, and backgrounds with the opportunity to exhibit works selected by professionally credentialed jurors and to be recognized with monetary awards. Artists do not have to be members to join our exhibitions, but members do have several advantages, such as lesser entry fees, access to networking, and additional exhibition opportunities. If you're interested in learning about becoming a member, please visit our membership page on our website. In a few words about this exhibition, Light and Shadow 2024 is an exhibition where we know that where there's light, there must be shadow. Whether an artist knows it or not, light and shadow are essential to all forms of art, either as the subject of the piece or the material being used to create it. From the dramatic caricatures of European Renaissance to the interactive and immersive experiences of Mary Corse and Yayoi Kusama, light and shadow continuously fascinate artists. And we're joined today by our juror, Miss Leah Triplett Harrington. She is the Director of Exhibitions and Contemporary Cultural Initiatives at the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts. Previously, she was a curator of Now and There, where she facilitated the Public Art Accelerator and organized large-scale public art commissions in Boston. Her writing has appeared in Art Asia Pacific, Art Net News, Sculpture Public Art Dialogue, Flash Art, Hyperallergic, The Brooklyn Rail, and others. She taught MFA painting and sculpture students at Boston University from 2021 to 2023. Now I'll hand over the floor to her and she'll say a few words.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amani, and thank you so much, everyone at the Maryland Federation of the Arts. I've had such a good time during the show and working on it. I was really excited to see the concept of light and shadow. It is such, all artists, no matter what media, no matter what style, material, like you're using light and shadow in some shape or form. So I was really excited to see that as the concept, and then I was proven right. There was such a range of materiality, definitely style, and approach to art making through these, two polls. So I was really delighted to take a look at everything. Everyone was just the caliber, the quality of submissions was really, really impressive, as was the quantity of them. There were a lot of them. So I really was so excited to take a look and to consider all of this work. And the exhibition is on view until the end of January. So you have plenty of time, if you're watching this, I hope, before the end of January to check out the exhibition, which I hope you do spend some time with. So I think I'm just going to go through a couple of the ones selected as winners. I had an incredibly tough time doing this. Like I said, the quality was really high, so it was very hard to pick, the winners of the winners. But I guess we can go through those now. So one thing that I really wanted to lift up in the selections was just kind of scenes that were either more industrial or architectural or a little bit different than a landscape or a scenescape or another kind of pastoral scene. So I think all of my selections here kind of do that. This one I was really excited about. It is a black and white photo. There's a kind of a traditionalism when it comes to the use of light and shadow. However, I think the forms here start to be kind of very abstract and mysterious. I love the person who's just kind of just about to walk off the frame here. So this was an exciting blend of the traditional, the classic photography, but also the modern and kind of more abstract aesthetic. And then this Sorrento Morning, first of all, I loved the movement of this piece. I can just kind of almost hear this moped zipping by. So I loved how the artist is placing us directly in this image here. I also loved, that very dramatic divide between light and shadow in the foreground and the background there. I think that only adds to heightening the movement of the piece. I can, again, just like, that moped's zipping by really quickly, but that shadow is kind of just moving across the pavement there a little bit more slowly. Um, so I also loved that this was, again, it kind of a bucolic scene, but one that is a little bit more of an everyday take on that. It's beautiful. We have these green trees, we have these mountains in the distance, but at the same time, we're in a downtown area. And I thought the treatment, the textures, especially in that shadow, were really just very sumptuous. Okay, and then I loved this kind of like an ode to those messy, beautiful art school and or painting studio sinks. I feel like I can again just almost smell the paint coming off of this sink. So I loved again like thinking about instead of creating a really, really beautiful, intriguing scene. The beauty is really different. She's thinking about, or this artist is thinking about just like the kind of detritus of beauty and what's being kind of taken away, but still forming a really wonderful, beautiful, sensual scene here. And it's kind of the same thing. I thought this was just going, thinking about the work in the beginning. I loved that there was like an intrigue here. This again is kind of like a more it's an oil painting that is like using very highly dramatic shifts in light and shadow, but there's also a clear foreground, a middle ground background, and there's a sense of mystery. I feel like I am the person walking into the frame this time and kind of going through this corridor, and I did like how it wasn't. This is like a very like the painting surface, the textures here, all very sensual, all very evocative. But it's a scene that is like very everyday. This could be in so many different hallways and so many different kind of schools or businesses or wherever. This is a scene that I feel like a lot of us can imagine in our everyday. So I liked kind of, again, applying that sense of beauty to this very ordinary scene. Oh yes, and I loved again speaking of mystery. There's definitely something very enigmatic and exotic and just kind of I shouldn't say exotic, but just like there's an intrigue here that's bringing us in. There are two, there's not a actual human presence in this painting, but there is such a presence of human with the glasses, with the cigar. I loved how finely delineated those elements were, but then we have this background that is just really just these very abstract swaths of paint, which again is the light and the dark. And I love how the smoke is kind of hinting at that too. Speaking of the smoke, there's definitely like an ephemeral quality to this. Those ice cubes are going to melt. The smoke, the cigarette will become ash. So I love the sense of time in this work as well.
Thank you so much, Miss Harrington, for going through the awards. You can tell that you really spent a lot of time with them. Um, you gave them a lot of thought and insight, so we do appreciate that. If anyone is watching this, well, hopefully you are, but please go to our website to check out the pieces. We have a page where we have the work themselves, and you can go in and read the artist statement. And then we have another page where you get to actually go to the artist if they have a website or social media to find out more about them. So we invite you to do that when we upload the video on January the 10th. That's when the awards will be announced, and we invite you to learn more about the artist when we do so. So here's just kind of a image that's indicative of the show and the entries that we did get. Like I said, when the show go and like Ms. Harrington said as well, when the show goes on display, please do check it out. It is up from December 15th to January 31st. So you have ample time to view the show and share it with your friends and family. But this is kind of just a collage of not all, but some of the pieces that are in the show. But like I said, go check out the show and form your own opinions and thoughts. So, in closing, I just want to, on behalf of myself and the Maryland Federation of Art, thank you so much, Ms. Harrington, for everything you've done throughout the process, from our initial contact to as of today. I mean, you've been a supreme professional to work with. You've been very responsive, very helpful just in the process of working through how to make our schedules meet and meeting, deadlines and all the things that you've been asked for. So I really do thank you so much for that.
Well, it was definitely my pleasure. Thank you so much, Amani, and everyone at the MFA, and all of the artists who submitted work. Like that last slide shows, there's just such an array of submissions that were such high quality, and I hope that everyone can take a look. And I really do appreciate everyone coming and checking out the show, and also coming to this talk. So thank you so much.